Tonight, in our coverage, online calls for U.S. invasion of Canada spark alarm and outrage. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Aisha Ashraf. The New Democratic Party is calling its candidates to prepare for an early federal election in Canada. An internal memo circulated within the party suggests a snap poll could be called as soon as March 10th. The memo was sent to 140 candidates and campaign teams. It cites growing speculation that Mark Carney will win the Liberal leadership on March 9th and may trigger an election soon after. NDP campaign director Jennifer Howard claims the Liberals are using economic tensions with the U.S. to their political advantage. The memo criticizes Liberal leadership candidates for not consulting opposition parties on emergency measures. Polling suggests Liberal support is rising, while NDP backing is weakening. The memo shows the party will focus its campaign on affordability and healthcare access. It will position itself against conservatives and Liberals, whom it accuses of serving corporate elites. Canadian politicians are calling for an investigation into social media platform X after right-wing influencers are calling for a violent invasion of Canada. On February 2nd, U.S. influencer Tim Pool posted that the U.S. should crush Canada's economy and annex the country. His post gained over 2.2 million views. Another influencer, Ian Miles Cheong, suggested U.S. President Donald Trump should declare war and take over Canada in 24 hours. Trump has repeatedly floated the idea of Canada joining the U.S., but has framed it as an economic strategy, not a military one. Experts say right-wing influencers are amplifying and distorting his message. Violent rhetoric has spread across social media with threats to obliterate Canada. Pool and Cheong have links to Russian state media, raising concerns about foreign interference. Meanwhile, billionaire Elon Musk, a Trump ally, is facing scrutiny for allegedly manipulating X's algorithm to favor certain political views. Canada's New Democratic Party is urging Elections Canada to investigate Musk's influence ahead of the upcoming federal election. Experts warn misinformation and unchecked social media platforms pose a serious threat to Canadian democracy. The Trump administration is taking a new approach to the war in Ukraine, pushing for immediate negotiations while scaling back U.S. involvement. This comes as President Donald Trump held back-to-back calls with Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Trump describes his hour-and-a-half conversation with Putin as highly productive, saying both leaders agree on the need to stop the war. A face-to-face meeting between the two is now in the works. Trump's call with Zelensky was also positive, with the Ukrainian leader saying the two discussed economic and military cooperation. But Trump's stance marks a dramatic shift. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says Ukraine should not expect to reclaim all its lost territory or gain NATO membership. Instead, the administration is focusing on what it calls realistic solutions, acknowledging Russia's gains on the battlefield. This is a break from the Biden administration's approach, which committed long-term military support to Ukraine. Now, the U.S. is signaling a pivot, urging European allies to take on more of the financial and security burden. Palestinian resistance group Hamas says it will continue implementing the Gaza truce deal as agreed. The group insists Israel must also abide by the terms. Earlier, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had threatened to end the truce if prisoners are not freed by the deadline. Hamas had decided to stop prisoner exchange following ceasefire violations. Palestinian authorities accuse Israel of multiple breaches, including shooting civilians and blocking relief aid. Mediators are working to ensure both sides comply. In the occupied West Bank, Israel's military has struck a Palestinian vehicle in Jenin. Israeli forces have also raided Nablus and other areas, killing a young Palestinian man near Hawara. The Israeli army offensive in the northern West Bank started on January 21st. So far, it has killed over 30 civilians, displacing thousands. Palestinian Health Ministry has updated the death toll to 61,709. More than 111,000 have been injured. Thousands of government web pages are vanishing, including key public health data from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. The center tracks diseases, outbreaks, and medical research, providing crucial information used by scientists, policymakers, and the public. This action follows an executive order by President Donald Trump mandating the removal of content related to diversity, equity, inclusion, and gender identity from federal websites. The overnight disappearance of vital data sets is raising alarms among experts. Virologist Angela Rasmussen says the loss could have serious consequences, not just for the U.S., but for Canada and beyond. The center's research informs global health policies, including tracking infectious diseases that cross borders. Without it, researchers lose access to critical data on viruses, environmental hazards, and emerging health threats. The missing data includes studies on serious public health issues such as H5N1 bird flu. Canadian scientists rely on this information to monitor risks, including pollution and disease outbreaks that don't stop at the border. Following the disappearance of critical files, a U.S. federal judge has ordered the Center and Food and Drug Administration to restore public health data. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has spoken to Syria's interim leader Ahmed al-Shara for the first time since Bashar al-Assad was ousted. Rebels led by Shara took power in December, forcing Assad into Russian asylum. The phone call reaffirmed Syria-Russia ties, with Putin inviting Syria's foreign minister to Moscow. Russia, which backed Assad in the war, now seeks to secure its key military bases in Syria. Reports suggest Syria may demand Assad's return in exchange for allowing Russia to keep its bases. Meanwhile, Syria's interim government has formed a committee to shape the country's future. The group includes civil society members and 2 women aiming for inclusivity. Russia's next move in Syria remains uncertain. Former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan's call for overseas Pakistanis to stop sending remittances has not found many takers. Despite his appeal, remittances have surged. Imran Khan was ousted from power in 2022. Last year, alleged manipulations and rigging prevented his party from returning to power. In protest, Khan urged a boycott as part of his civil disobedience movement. He wanted to pressure the government, which is relying on foreign loans and remittances. Some supporters, like Mohammed Wasim in Qatar, initially stopped sending money, but financial pressures forced them to resume. Latest data from Pakistan's central bank shows remittances hit over $3 billion in January, a 25% rise from last year. Last year, total remittances reached a record $34.1 billion, up 32% from 2023. Many overseas Pakistanis say they have no choice but to support their families back home. Flu cases are surging across Canada, hitting levels not seen in a decade. Quebec alone has reported 4,600 cases last week, with some patients in intensive care. 1 in 3 flu tests in the province is coming back positive. Director Karim Ali from Ontario's Niagara Health says flu-related hospitalizations are unusually high. Pediatric hospitals are also seeing more severe cases. The Public Health Agency of Canada reports widespread flu activity in British Columbia, Ontario, and Quebec. Meanwhile, COVID-19 and RSV cases are declining. Vaccination rates remain low. Experts recommend layering precautions like avoiding sick contacts and seeking antiviral treatments early. And now, as we head towards the blessed month of Ramadan 2025, we are introducing a new segment to keep you updated on the events happening in your city called Ramadan Events. Save this date. The Muslim Womenpreneurs Network is presenting Ramadan Expo 2025 with a difference. This year, the expo shines a spotlight on the enduring beauty and spirit of Palestinian culture, a beacon of resilience and hope in challenging times. The first event was held in Montreal on Saturday and Sunday, February 8th and 9th. The second event will be held in Mississauga on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, February 15th to 17th. Come and discover premium kufiyas, hand-painted ceramics, and stunning traditional thobes. Watch an exclusive performance of Dabke artists, explore a vibrant bazaar with over 300 vendors, international halal food court, kids activities, VR space, and business workshops. Visit ramadanexpo.co for tickets and details. On February 23rd, the Ramadan Revival Conference brings an unforgettable experience to the Palacio Event Center in Mississauga. The event features renowned speakers and engaging activities. One lucky attendee will also get a chance to win a free Umrah. You can purchase tickets on dawanet.ca. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.